Of all the messed up situations Quality Brennan has experienced in her life, this was the one that caused her to lose all faith in humanity. It was barely 4 in the morning on October 19th, 1952. The frozen chill nipped her face, and the icy wind whipped her curlers in every direction. She stood on her front porch. This porch was her pride and joy, as ridiculous as it sounds. It was not the space it provided, and neither was it the handcraft stone that fueled her love for this structure. Instead, it was the hundreds of memories that a front porch offers. It was common knowledge that relaxing on her grand porch was one of Quality's favorite leisure activities, although unconventional. But it was not a common occurrence for her to be on said porch at 3 in the morning in 30-degree weather. The reason for this excursion was on the unpleasant side. Franklin Menkel was on the steps of her porch, tired, stumbling, and hoarsely crying. Franklin Menkel was Quality's ex-boyfriend. He broke up with her 2 months ago to pursue a relationship with his studies. Quality was fine with it. Their relationship, existing their senior year, was never that of a typical coupling. They became acquainted when Franklin transferred to Alter High, being two of the most headstrong and stubborn people in the world. This led everyone in their lives to think they would be the perfect couple. But there was no substance to their relationship. Besides the title boyfriend and girlfriend, their relationship was much more complicated. "What in the world do you think you're doing, you imbecile?" she shouted as she made her way down the porch in hopes of getting Franklin inside before her neighbors overheard his meltdown. "It's gone, all of it, just gone to the wall," Franklin repeated while Quality dragged him up through the front door and into the kitchen. He was more substantial than she expected, but Quality managed to get him seated at the table and prepared coffee in the hopes of waking him. "Okay, now tell me what happened," she said as she placed the cup of coffee on the table in front of him. The scent of caffeine filled the air. Franklin did not make any advancements towards the drink. Instead, he buried his dark curls into the crook of his arm, leaning on the table. They sat in silence for several minutes, before she decided to cut it with a knife. Quality did not deal well with silence. "Come on now, Frank. You're not 5. Spit it out already. What's gone wrong, and why, might I add, are you at my house at 3 in the morning?" She reached over, placing her hand on his arm, giving him a shake to rile him up. When he didn't respond, she went far enough to swat him on the nape of his neck. That action got her a response. He raised his head. Quality got a good look at his face. Golden brown eyes reddened with irritation and a wide mouth pressed in a firm line. Quality almost broke at the complete look of desperation, utter failure in his expression. Although she was a renounced ice queen among her peers, and their relationship was not built on love and adoration, she cared for the man seated next to her. It was not her fault that she barely showed her emotions. Some wore their hearts on their sleeves, and others, like Quality Brennan, had their heart under lock and key. She, unfortunately, lost her key a long time ago. Seconds passed before Franklin looked her straight in the eyes, warm brown meeting cool gray. I... He stuttered over his words, having difficulty pulling himself together. He broke the connection, looking away before he continued. "After I called it quits with you, I threw myself into the firm." Quality nodded, knowing that Frank was trying to establish himself in his family business, banking and investing. She gestured for him to continue. "I made a deal, one that was sure to go big. I put everything into it, Quill. Everything. And it completely destroyed me. I was already in debt from Alter High, and now with undergrad starting, I thought this would be my saving grace, but it turned out to be my ticket to failure." She could not help but smirk at his pessimistic statement. She was well aware of Franklin's gambling addiction and was not surprised that it finally caught up to him, but that did not stop her from sympathizing. "If it makes you feel any better, Franklin, I got my ticket a long time ago. It'll be like a vacation to the Bahamas," she joked with a rare smile, but it quickly faded with the look Franklin gave her, a mix between exasperation and annoyance. It was evident that her occasional humorous comments only made an appearance when they were least wanted. She knew that people did not come to Quality Brennan for a laugh. They came to have their life fixed and a good dose of reality. She gave her head a shake and cleared her mind. It was time to get serious. "What can I do?" she asked with an openness to her typical harsh and cut words. "I was hoping I could stay here for a little. I have nowhere else to go. Ma and Dad cut me off and are no longer paying for school. I have some money saved, so I can pitch in. I just really need this. Please." His words were spoken fast and jumbled. Quality considered it. She knew people would talk. A young woman living with a man that was not her husband was bound to cause gossip. She concluded that there was no way she was going to say no to his request. Let the people talk, she thought. They already made their low opinions known about her living alone. Plus, she was not one to care about others' opinions. Having made up her mind, Quality decided that she could at least have some fun with him. After all, he did wake her up at 3 in the morning when she had class in less than 4 hours. She made a big show of contemplating his request. First, she looked him up and down. Then she got up and paced back and forth. And after a good 3 minutes, she headed up to her room. Franklin was still seated at the table when she walked out of view. He took that as a sign to leave. Just when he was about to open the door to make his exit, she called back. "Where do you think you're going? The guest room's down the hall." With that said, Franklin Minkle fell against the door and slid to the floor. He released a relieved laugh before he shouted back, "You're so evil. You know that, right?" "If you mean that I'm a guardian angel, yes, you are right." A smile stretched across Franklin's mouth. "Good night, Quality." "Good night, Franklin."